Alright, so boom. Thank y'all for watching this video. I know I'm already saying thank you, even though the video just started. But thank you, because this shit was supposed to come out way back. And I mean like back in like December. And now we're here. Now, why did it take this long? It's because one thing came up, another thing came up, and then another thing came up. But now we're here. I got my own space. I'm dealing with a shitty ass commute, but I got my own space, and that's what matters. So now I'm about to re-record these lines because they were sounding crazy earlier. Like there was like a bunch of background noises. There was just a bunch of like just clitter clatter from the fucking kitchen and shit. But it was all that shit. But now we're here. Alright, so in the last one that I did, I said this shit wasn't gonna be a daily thing. That video came out like 2 years ago. It's a crazy ass time, so I'm gonna refrain from making any promises like that because we all know what I was just talking about earlier with like shit coming up over and over again. But we're here, so we're gonna get to it. Last time we scaled 2 characters from a video where a wife pushed her disabled, reality warping husband down a flight of stairs. That shit was wild. Don't get it twisted. The characters within that video were absolute titans, but the one that this video is on is even crazier. This is Karen, Samir Bhavnani's most dangerous character. Who is Karen? Imagine Frieza if he was a 32-year-old white woman living in Southern California. That is who Karen is. Karen is an elite level racist who was born to her mother, Carrie Kohan Karen, in Chicago, Illinois. She has a few kids, and she's married. Took up some significant roles in her life since leaving Chicago, such as being a boarding attendant, having a solid position in a tech company, and most importantly, being a cop. She's done some heinous activities, such as arresting a black child, arresting a black corpse, arresting a black baby. Why am I bringing up race? Some of you may be asking, because she did it first. Now, after hearing all of this, what if I told you that all the stuff that I just told you is both right and wrong? Yes, you read that shit right. Quantum immortality. What is quantum immortality? For those of you who don't know, I'll explain it to you starting from what a quantum is. A quantum in quantum mechanics is essentially the tiniest physical shits that make up a certain object or thing, such as, photons and electrons, things like that. The idea of quantum mechanics is that these little units behave like wavelengths. They're not actual wavelengths, but they behave like them. And they have a probability of being in certain positions at certain times, which brings us to the double slit experiment. This experiment fires particles into 2 slits. And you would think that the backside of the wall will look something like this, right? No, it looks like this. And if you shoot the damn particles one at a time, they're going to be in a different spot every single time until it resembles or kind of resembles something like a wavelength. That pattern that you see right there is what they refer to as an interference pattern. And it made folks question, why didn't this thing land here or here or here? What is it causing it to behave this way? This, that, and the third. The many worlds interpretation, aka multiverse theory, which I'm pretty sure everybody fucking heard of, was one of the most popular ways of explaining that experiment in the sense that multiple parallel worlds were created when that particle was fired. So one reality was where the first shot landed here, another one where it landed here, another one here, so on and so forth. This interpretation is pretty similar to bosonic string theory, but that is besides the point. Karen in many of these videos was either killed or arrested, so there is literally no damn way any of these videos, with the exception of 2 pairs, take place in the same universe. It makes no sense. The idea of quantum immortality and quantum suicide is, just picture it this way. It's kind of like Schrodinger's cat, but it's also not Schrodinger's cat. So you got a gun held up to your head. There is an absolute 50% chance that you will live and an absolute 50% chance that you will die. You click the gun, it doesn't go off. You click it again, it doesn't go off. You click it over and over and over again, and it still doesn't go off. From your perspective, that gun never seems to go off. However, that is not the case, because it has gone off, but in another reality. That's basically what quantum immortality is. This bitch literally dies in the first video you see her in, and somehow, a few weeks later, she's now trying to get GTA 6 on the PS4 for her son from a man minding his own damn business with a potato peeler. In what fucking universe is GTA 6 currently out on the PS4 and you're sitting here telling me with a straight face that the PS4 is gonna run that shit without exploding? Not this one, I'll tell you that. As mentioned before, Karen was either killed or arrested in many of the videos we see her in. However, the reason why I'm so uptight about her abilities is because it was actually shown early. This right here is the first video she appears in. She died in this one. Long story short, she finds a little girl on a bike, presses her for not having a permit, calls her a statistic, then detains her. Turns out the little girl's father is the current captain of the police force, his name being Captain Alexander. Keep that name in mind. Captain Alexander confronts Karen, gets his daughter back, has a gun pulled on her, then shows her that his dead eye is maxed out. She's gone, dead, kablooey, or so we thought. In the next video, she is pressing an old man for the GTA 6 stuff that I mentioned earlier. Now, the interesting thing to note about this video is that she is a bit more remorseful in this video despite her racism. That's because the Karen you see in this video was not the one you saw in the last one.
Damn, Sakura, you was...
Yet! Watch this clip.
Yeah, I like to report a accident. A lady stabbed me. No, it was with a potato peeler. And I forgot to tell you something. My dad...
Did you hear that sound? That ear-ringing sound? That sound right there, that was her ability at work. That is Karen Prime awakening within 1218D Karen's body like a Russian sleeper agent. And then some months pass, and where do we see her? Trying to imprison a baby. Now, before you get into saying that it is impossible for her to become a cop so quickly, since, you know, it could take up to a year to be out there doing the shit that she's doing, you must note that every single universe that you see in these videos, they're bastardized from reality. Our universe is a source universe. The farther you are from it, the crazier shit becomes. It's easier to become an officer in these universes Karen is in, because that shit is practically just another job on Indeed. That craziness is why there's a bunch more overtly racist cops in these videos. It's why a nigga in a wheelchair manifested a boxing glove. And it's why after she got sentenced for 15 years for trying to imprison that aforementioned baby, she hops in another timeline and eats a black grandmother. You heard me correct. She ate that poor woman. After her sentencing in 1218D, she hops over to 1218E. In this universe, she was in the body of a Karen who also wasn't a police officer, but rather a flight attendant. This version of Karen nearly gets her own mother, Carrie Cohan Karen, killed due to her own racism by not letting a man that she didn't know was her mother's surgeon go on a flight to Chicago. After being reprimanded like any other variant of her would, you could see on her face that she couldn't handle the embarrassment. So this version of Karen also becomes a police officer. 1218E Karen confronts an elderly black woman on the street, does her Karen things, and apprehends her. It wasn't until when the lady mentioned the name of her son.
Captain Alexander.
The new police captain is your son?
Mm-hmm.
You're Alice Alexander.
Yeah.
That 1218E Karen became Karen Prime. 1218E Karen knows who Captain Alexander is. But Karen Prime knows what Captain Alexander did. Karen Prime hijacks 1218E's body and goes on a long spree of eating not just the grandmother, but a numerous, undisclosed amount of innocent people for one whole year until 1218E Captain Alexander confronts her. It is worth noting that Captain Alexander is a lot more capable than he seems, which is why I told you to keep that name in mind, because not only is he calculating, but he already had an idea of what Karen was actually up to. And if you throw in the fact that he changed his whole morphology once he took off that damn mask, as a matter of fact, he is one of the few people that we could see that could compare to her power, but that might be another video for itself. I don't even know. But that's besides the point. She gets arrested at the end of the video, and at some point she offs herself and frantically hops to any universe, hoping that she would never have to come across another Captain Alexander. In the video where she arrests a black corpse, we are now in Earth 1218S. She wilds out as always and causes a ruckus. Too much of a ruckus. Karen unknowingly hopped into a body of a Karen who was just as much of a menace as she was. But despite this, that Karen was a tad bit more covert. That Karen might have suspected the surprise, but Karen Prime, gloating in her man-eating prowess, walks into a sting operation where she meets 1218S Torrance, California's police captain, Captain Shaquille. Karen Prime is shook. She doesn't know who this captain is, and she didn't even know that 1218S Karen was as much of a menace as she was prior to taking her body. She is arrested. However, she wasn't going to let any of this shit slide like the other times. She somehow escapes her handcuffs, apprehends and gags Officer Patrick, the motherfucker arresting her, and here's where we learn that she's double jointed.
What happened? She's double jointed.
She is on the run while this goddamn clanker piece of shit music play. I'm sorry, I just don't like how people use AI. While on the run, she encounters the Constant, another individual hopping the multiverses. When he states that he's seen many people ruin everything because they couldn't face their own wrongdoings, he is referring solely to Karen because she has been hopping universe to universe to universe to universe trying to escape judgment for atrocities she's committed for the past God knows how long. But she is not truly listening, else this bitch wouldn't be eating that big ass donut while talking to him. She's planning her true escape. The Constant believed that she will actually sit in that prison, but despite his experience, his naivety still reigns supreme. Sometime later, she hops to Universe 1218T, where she resides there for a long ass time, until accidentally poisoning her daughter. After that, she dipped out, as you could tell with the ear ringing, which is not coming from the daughter's POV, and left 1218T Karen to deal with that shit. And then finally, in the most recent Karen video, we see her in Universe 1218U, where she profiles a 7-year-old boy who happens to be Officer Bro, do you see how crazy this shit is? She is discharged from the police force after profiling Officer Shaq's nephew. However, I personally doubt that Prime Karen is in control in this video, primarily because this Karen actually appeared to reflect on her actions and the effect and impact that it had on others. You could say that the Constant's words may have had an effect on her, but you're telling me that this is the same Karen who's holding the hands of the folks that she probably ate a couple videos back? Impossible. The reason why this video was shown to us, despite this being mainly a Karen variant, is because Karen Prime is lurking, waiting for a vulnerable moment. Now, before getting into this, there are actually two videos that I want to bring up. One of the videos is where Karen appears to be homeless and she eventually finds a home for her and her child and writes a book. However, this video is non-canon to the actual Karen video, since this isn't actually a Karen in this video. It is worth noting that this video is actually a lot closer to our reality, but the point that I really want to dig here is that this is non-canonical and irrelevant to the conversation. Now, the other video. This one I didn't find until like weeks after writing the previous portion of this video. This was all written like months way back, but we already talked about that. The title may sound familiar, however, the video is actually not recent. As a matter of fact, this is a 3-year-old video with the same plot as the initial Karen video that we've seen. The video contains pretty much the majority of the same characters as the initial Karen Prime video did. However, the Karen in this video is different physically, which is a trait that we have not seen in any of the videos that we discussed. I decided to dub this as a proto-universe, although with that being said, the extra few minutes of this proto-universe does support my claim about Captain Alexander being a shapeshifter. Now, this is the overall layout of the map. This is just to simplify things by visualizing it. This portion of the video is completely skippable. If you wish to skip this, here's a timestamp. But if you want to see me really break this shit down, then by all means. Alright, so boom, this is the whole multiversal map. Now, forgive me for the audio. The reason why it's like this is because I had to sacrifice my mic. I got my external hard drive plugged in, and I'm editing the video right now. And if I unplug that, that shit goes by. Even though it's saved, but I just don't want to. I don't feel like plugging in my mic. I'm not gonna go lie. But yep, this is the whole multiversal map. As you guys see, I already got this shit labeled out, from the differing timelines to what type of universes these timelines are in. things of that nature. So when you see the red right here, these are just little details that, you know, differ the universes from each other. When you see the blue, that's when a significant event happens that led to her hopping. Now, when you see the purple, now I need to really clarify this because I've kind of skimmed over this a little bit. When you see the purple, that means the ear ringing noise played. When that ear ringing noise plays, that means she either left or she's coming in. That is what that ear ringing noise plays. Or that's what it means. I'm sorry. But yeah, we're going to start from the very beginning. So, Earth 1218C. This is the first universe that we see Karen Prime actually in. Now, in this universe, she has a son named Charlie and a husband. And that marriage is not going well. We all know what happens in this video. She arrests the black girl. She gets killed. So after she gets killed, she hops over to 1218D. Now, in this universe, she has a slightly older son named Ethan. She has a husband again. And GTA 6 is on the PS4. Now, I need you to keep in mind that Karen Prime was not active in this video until the very end when that ear ringing noise played. And how do we know that? It's because right after that, where do we see her? Arresting a black toddler. Now, it's worth noting that in this video right here, it isn't specifically stated that the police captain in this was a Captain Alexander. However, the reason why I grouped this in the Alexander universes is because it's a progressive jump. So we see a Captain Alexander in this one. Let me get a better view on this real quick. So we see a Captain Alexander in this one, 1218C. That's the first one we see in. And then we see a Captain Alexander in the one where she eats the black grandmother. Now, it makes sense for it to be a Captain Alexander right here. It makes sense. Because I know over here, that's when it's just been straight shacks. Straight shacks. So where was I? Okay, so yeah. Ear ringing noise plays. Arrested the black toddler. Imprisoned for 15 years without bail for arresting a black baby. And then she hops over to Earth 1218E. In this universe, her mother, Carrie Kohan Karen, is in Chirac. How do we know this? It's because of this video right here. This video states that her mother is in Chirac, and then she kicks off a brown man off a plane despite the fact that he was trying to save her life. So Karen Prime is not active in this video right here. She is not active. But this Karen, she was very adjacent. She was very adjacent. I'm not even going to lie, but she was not active. Now, she didn't get active, or she didn't become active until this video right here when the black grandmother mentioned Captain Alexander's name. That's when Karen Prime started going crazy. That's when she woke up. So once she mentioned Captain Alexander's name, that's when she went on a spree eating black people for an entire year straight. And only got a life sentence for. Honestly, she should have died in that video, but that shit was crazy. But after the life sentence, she presumably offs herself off screen, hops over to 1218S. Now this is when we enter the Shaq universes right here. She doesn't recognize the new police captain, and she has met the Constant in this universe as well. We all know who the Constant is. He's just a guy roaming the universe, is trying to make sure everything stays straight, trying to make sure everything's not all jumbled up, because, you know, if something doesn't belong there, it's gonna mess things up. That's why the Constant was in this video right here. So after she arrests the black horse, actually, but no, before we even get into that, this shit was crazy, because the fact that there was a whole sting operation, bro. I don't 1218. What is this? 1218U, bro. 1218S, bro. Now 1218S Karen was wilding before this shit. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, no ringing noise played, but we know that this is Prime Karen in here because the fact that she didn't recognize the new police captain despite already meeting him. So after that, she's held accountable. Like I said, she probably offed herself off screen or some shit. Hops over to 1218T. Now in this timeline is very, very interesting because she was active in this shit for like 2 years straight. 2 years straight. She has a grown ass daughter, but she got no man's in sight. Now, yeah, this universe is a really weird one because her daughter has an accent. So yeah, I don't even know. This is a very strange one. It's a very, very strange one. But I don't know. Maybe she's out there. I don't know, bro. That's not the point. But yeah, after this shit, after she fucking poisoned her daughter and shit, she gets arrested. Oh yeah, by the way, the ear ringing noise does play in this video as well. that was just her getting the fuck out of that situation. So she gets arrested, dips out, hops over to 1218U. Karen Prime is not active in this video right here. She is not active because she does not show any remorse for her actions. She's different from all the other shit that we've seen. Because like I said earlier, there is no goddamn way. Actually, no, I haven't even. We'll get into that later. I realize I said that shit in the part after this, but yeah. Y'all gonna see what I mean. So yeah, that's the whole multiversal map. Thank you for watching. Now, I have touched up on this a little bit in the beginning and during some segments of the video, and that's the whole, you know, none of the Karens that you see in this video are the same Karens. Now, I really want to tackle this, like fully tackle this. This argument would explain why she seemingly never seems to learn by committing the same mistakes, and in some videos actually learns her lessons just for her to do a complete 180 in the next video. However, you need to remember that these in fact were different Karens until that ear-ringing noise played.
Yeah.
Sudden shift in personality, a sudden crazy idea to torment people, all just happening after that.
Can't be the captain.
The first Karen we see kidnapped a child. You think Potato Peeler Karen was the one in control and tried to arrest that toddler? Potato Peeler, she's not even like that. Hell, Airport Karen was a ground level racist even as an officer and didn't even think of committing the level of debauchery that was cannibalism until that ear-ringing noise played. Now, another thing somebody might try to bring up is that these videos actually take place in different points in time. Now, you need to keep in mind, despite the fact that she was killed and arrested in many of these videos, something for being lifetime imprisonment, you need to keep in mind that in some videos she has a husband, some videos she has a husband and a son, some videos she has just a son, some videos she doesn't even have any of those things, she just has a grown-ass daughter, and you would think that she would be mentioned in any of these videos, but nah, she doesn't. On top of that, you need to keep in mind that her mother is in Chicago in the airplane video, and then in this other video her family's down in Mississippi. What's the mother doing up in Chirac, and why is the family down in Mississippi? It doesn't make any sense. So as for her physical state, physically, her durability, she is as durable as a regular human being. And it's because we've seen her get shot, we've seen her die because of getting shot, we've seen her get apprehended, all of that stuff. But the thing is, it's not her durability that really matters here. It's more so her physical strength, because we've seen her go on a whole cannibalizing spree, which you can only pull off if you're a really strong person. And on top of that, we've seen her apprehend and gag another officer. And on top of that, she's double jointed. So because of that, we're putting her physical strength at continental level, but her durability at small building. Now, as for the meta spiritual side of things, she can't die. Yeah, she can't die. So she is abusing quantum immortality to the absolute max. Anytime she does die in the timeline, she just pops back in another, does some crazy racist shit, and then probably gets killed again. That's what she does. But I need y'all to understand, it isn't just the mixture of what she's doing in those timelines and the fact that she can't die that's the problem. It's the fact that she's just in those timelines. Alright, so I'm about to sound like Miguel a little bit here. Imagine a universe as its own ecosystem, like its own neighborhood, as its own tree. A tree has its own leaves, sticks, birds, bugs, germs, bacteria. It may have some nests there, it may have some acorns there, it got its own food. It has its own ways of life, you know, with some animals coming in and out. But that's to be expected, you know, because there's some mingling every now and then. But imagine introducing something completely foreign to said tree, like a vat of uranium. Now, it may benefit some parts of the tree, but then other parts of the tree may get severely impacted by it in a negative way, which leads to the whole thing crumbling down. Karen Prime is that vat of uranium. That reason is why the Constant was trying to get her to just stay in that one universe and just deal with the consequences. And that is because at that point, prior to that video, she was already butterfly affected 2 universes into some crazy ass catastrophes that we did not see on screen. It is because of the fact that she can't die, the fact that she is a menace physically, and the fact that she is causing this much multiversal damage. I am putting Karen Prime at high multiversal. Now, thank y'all for watching this. I know it's been way too long since I've done this, and I actually had a lot of fun making this. So, if y'all got any fucking recommendations on who I should power scale next, be sure to let me know, because I do have some trouble finding some videos for shit like this. But yeah, like I said, if y'all got anything in mind, please let me know in the comments or on my socials. Please be sure to check out my Patreon, because I be dropping like a whole lot of not nudes, but just like art and shit, and just like just telling everybody all my secrets and whatnot. And then I got my print shop, so if you're really into my illustrations, into my stuff, I got some phone cases on there, I got some posters, and I'm about to try to get some hoodies up there as well. Now, besides all that other stuff, read Misenchanted, read All Star Sandman, read the Woodbridge Project. Those are my 3 babies right there. Please take care of them, and then maybe read Withered. That shit's on hiatus right now. I gotta fix that shit. I don't like how it came out, but still my baby. But that being said, thank you for watching and stay blessed. Alright, so this is just like a little post video thing. Happy that I re-recorded that shit. Very happy that it's done. I realized this a while back, like after I finished recording the first portion of it. But the last video that I done, the lady in that video, the one who were, what was it? What was that shit? It was I'm trying to remember. What was the husband's name? I don't even know. The lady that pushed her husband down the fucking flight of stairs, bro. Her name was also Karen. So that's not connected, but I just find it funny.